Thank you so much. And since this is an international conference and it has been there for 14 years, I originally decided to speak in English, so I thought that I might stick to that. And just to follow up on the line of thought that the State Secretary Guillaume and Hanko has already mentioned, I'm trying to merge these two issues, innovation and defense. And to start with a story, since the Ukrainian and Russian war has already been introduced and the use of civilian technologies, we all know that Palantir is widely used as a situational awareness software. Elon Musk, then again, a civilian infrastructure is providing the satellites for that. And interestingly enough, to illustrate where this is headed, it might have grabbed your attention because you're dealing with technology, that Alex Cobb, the CEO of Palantir, has come up with a new version of this software about 2 months ago. And actually on that demo, what you could see is that you have this software which can run even on your mobile devices. And they were showing a target. It was a T-80 tank that was detected. And actually, the AI already started to analyze the situation and provide all kinds of options for the commander. And the all-knowing AI solution were presenting all these options, and the commander were picking one of those. And like magically, an EW warfare sort of solution were initiated by the software itself. And the command and control system just distributed all sort of instructions to the subordinated decentralized units, and it was all a utopian war. And obviously, from a technological point of view, and this is my main point, it is possible. So that software has a lot of development and a lot of money spent on developing it, but actually it doesn't do justice to war, because the enemy has a vote, and that enemy has a decision-making cycle that they will be running at the same time. And it's very rare that we have a crystal clear picture on what we know about the situation and how the enemy where it is and how it's going to behave. So developing these technologies and actually enhancing the decision-making is very valid today. But all these systems needs to be merged, and I think that the human element is very important in this one, and not just technology. So today I just wanted to sort of emphasize the role of innovation, and especially defense innovation, in developing dual-use technologies, and not really concentrate on modernization, which the government has decided in 2016, as it has been mentioned. And we have been buying this high-tech equipment, and it's arriving to the forces, and we are actually using this equipment now on an everyday basis. It has already been mentioned that the 21st century race for creating strategic advantage with all kinds of adversaries is becoming very difficult, and space is one of those domains which is moving with a breakneck speed. And today's innovators, in my opinion, will own tomorrow's future. And innovation is much more than just, developing gadgets. It's not just rapid prototyping anymore. This is also rapid adoption, and this is where we need to connect defense with the technology sector. NATO has been developing this. They call it the Emerging Disruptive Technology Roadmap, and they have identified 9 different areas that they are focusing on. And they are also designing a strategy. The new strategic foresight analysis just came out actually a month ago. So it's a worthwhile read if anyone wants to look into the future and where NATO is headed with that one. But NATO countries are also contributing to this one, because NATO might provide the strategy, but we, as an allied member, we need to chip in there. So designing an innovation strategy that actually helps, first of all, the national sovereignty of the country and enhancing the capabilities of defense forces is absolutely necessary. And this innovation strategy, in my opinion, needs 3 pillars at least. First of all, we need a clear methodology to identify and prioritize critical technologies as they emerge. I already mentioned that there are 9 sort of critical EDTs in NATO. We in Hungary, as a small country, we can't focus them all. But rest assured, AI and space are definitely within the focus areas that we are focusing on in Hungary. Secondly, we must create a policy framework for defense tech issues and dual-use technologies. It has already been mentioned as well that if we don't create a system to support this, then it will be all kinds of individual initiatives, and they cannot be channeled through a system in order to end up in the hands of the warfighters, which is very important that we are enhancing the capability of the soldier. And third but last, we must apply this strategy framework in the short term. So rapid adoption is very important because we need to push this technology much faster down to the warfighter than we used to do it before. And another example that pops into my mind is what the United States is doing right now. If you look at the strategy, for example, for Air Force in there, you could see, they are developing big platforms, which I call a modernization strategy. So F-35, F-22, they are there, $850 million spent on an aircraft. It's an enormous amount of money. So Will Roper, when he was the chief for acquisition in the United States, figured, okay, we don't have 30 years to develop the next generation aircraft, so they started to digitize the whole process, and they have actually developed the new, let's say, 6th gen autonomous things, which, for example, the Valkyr is a loyal wingman and is flying now with all these platforms. So that's the second layer. But about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, Kathleen Hicks has announced a third layer to that one, and those are the cheap drones, which they call the replicator program. And if the country with, let's say, the most spending on defense capabilities needs those 3 layers, I think that we need to seriously think about sort of developing similar strategies and figuring out the balance in these strategic approaches. Over the last few years, NATO and EU officials have also recognized the need to cooperate around the emerging and disruptive technologies, because we can't do it alone. So NATO and NATO Strategic Command, Allied Command Transformation, is going out there and actually convincing the nations to chip in and do their piece and actually sort of combine and align these technological developments for the better of our sovereign nations and for the alliance as a whole. Also, NATO has recognized that it's not just an operational domain, for example, space from 2019, but they need a space policy for that, and they have been going down that road ever since. Well, Hungary is not very far behind. We have developed our Hungarian space strategy, and Ministerial Commissioner Ferenc Orsa will definitely touch upon that one. But I just wanted to highlight 3 sort of strategic targets from that strategy that we have regarding space. The first one is utilizing the potential in the space sector to stimulate innovation and sustainable growth in the national economy as a whole. Then again, the defense sector might know what we want and what sort of capabilities we want to develop, but we need a whole-of-nation approach in order to actually get there. And this needs to have a national, let's say, resilience layer on it in developing defense and space as well. Strengthening Hungary's international role, broadening its network and creating organizational framework for coordination. Then again, it's in line with the national strategies that we are developing. This network-based sort of approach is baked in everywhere, and innovation, in my opinion, can play a crucial role in supporting that one as well. And third is the prosperity of the space sector, the development of knowledge-based social and economic conditions, and infrastructural background is essential. And in the infrastructural background, I don't just mean buildings and developing the technological background, but also the educational background, because we're going to need the human force able to operate these technologies, which is really high-tech and cutting edge. we need knowledge transfer for that. So right now I'm speaking to all the international players in here because we are very open to learn from those who have been developing these technologies beforehand, tried and tested these. And in this regard, my humble opinion is that we have a way to go, and we need mentors ourselves in that one. I also need to mention NATO's approach in innovation, because there has been two organizations who have been here in Hungary just 2 weeks ago, because we had what we call the NATO Innovation Week. And that's first of all, Diana, the Defense Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic, which is the test center and accelerator network, which will bring in a very new approach to NATO. So this is not a top-down approach. We just announced 3 challenges for NATO. There has been more than 1,300 applications pouring in. It's an overwhelming response from small and medium enterprises, because 94% of the applications came from SMEs. And that was especially our target. So actually creating the small and many and linking them up with larger integrative companies and merging it in a strategy is absolutely essential. And there is also a funding stream from the NATO Innovation Fund, which is the sister organization of Diana. There is €1 billion in there, which will fund these smaller organizations as they come through the pipeline for NATO, supported by the 100+ test centers that we have been offering. So why are we engaged in supporting NATO's innovation activities? In my opinion, we need change more than ever, and we must apply these technology faster than we have ever done it before. So the question here is not just the rapid adoption, but how we are going to push these technologies down to the warfighter. Scaling innovative solutions systematically requires a lot of change in the bureaucracy, and I must admit that this is a challenge for both the defense forces all around the world, but also for the developers, because we need to join forces, connecting the operators with the developers, and actually bringing them on board, aligning these strategies from the DoD side of the house, or from the Hungarian Defense Forces, or the Ministry of Defense. We need to communicate these focus areas, what we need, and on the other side, we need that kind of understanding that dual-use technologies are out there and are very important, because both NATO and WIKI, the Hungarian Defense Innovation Institute, is looking for those dual-use solutions. And last but not least, it has already been mentioned that we have a big announcement coming up. I don't want to spoil the event, but what is actually happening is that the WIKI, as we call it in Hungarian, the Védelmi Innováció Kutatóintézet, or the Defense Innovation Institute, is very much in the epicenter of this, and is galvanizing the networks, bringing in the smaller entities, and actually providing pathways for them to create consortiums, and also meeting the international partners if we have created these Hungarian consortiums. One of these consortiums will be announced this afternoon, which is an XR, the extended reality, because we believe that this is one of those technologies that needs to be developed. And also the education and training portion of it, the ethical development, responsibly developing this technology is very important, and regulations. And a final thought, this is not a technological challenge. So I just want to follow up on the previous speakers. In my opinion, this is predominantly a human challenge that we need to live up to, and we need to do this together. And this is the perfect place and time to do that. More on the XR Coalition this afternoon. Thank you so much.